You are standing in a courtyard designed to resemble a garden. There are no flowers, only stone, only iron. Your feet press against cold slabs that never warm. A chain runs from your wrist to a pillar behind you. It is measured so you cannot sit, cannot kneel, cannot rest your spine. 11 hours upright, every day. Iron hooks pierce your cheeks. They were driven in weeks ago with steady hands, not in rage, not in haste, with precision. Each swallow shifts the metal. Each breath reminds you it is there. Your head is shaved clean. Your forehead bears a dark mark. In Akkadian it means one thing, slave. The pigment is mixed with ash. The ash is your family. When you try to speak, sound collapses in your mouth. A surgeon removed part of your upper lip, not enough to kill you, not enough to silence you, just enough to make every word grotesque. The guards laugh whenever you try. Along the courtyard others stand as you do. Daughters of kings, wives of rulers, princesses who once wore gold and lapis lazuli. Now they are displays, and they are meant to live. Because in the Assyrian Empire, death was release. The true punishment was survival. This was not an exception, it was policy. The Assyrian Empire ruled from 911 to 609 BC. Its kings recorded their violence in stone reliefs and royal annals with chilling pride. Ashurbanipal described flaying enemies alive. Sennacherib boasted of impaled prisoners lining city gates. Ashurbanipal carved conquest into palace walls at Nineveh. But what they did to captured soldiers was swift compared to what they engineered for women of royal blood. Men were executed. Women were transformed. The process began with the name. In Mesopotamian belief, a name was not a label, it was existence. To erase a name from tablets and inscriptions was to sever a soul from history and from the gods. When Assyria conquered a rival kingdom, scribes searched archives. Every tablet bearing the woman's name was altered, scratched out, rewritten, replaced with titles like the one who shall not be named. She continued breathing. Officially, she no longer existed. Then came the body. Not crude brutality, not chaotic violence, controlled alteration. A cut to the lip to distort speech, a shaved head to remove identity, iron fixtures embedded permanently, not to restrain movement, but to announce ownership. These women were not hidden in dungeons. They were placed in palace courtyards at Calhu and Nineveh, visible to ambassadors, merchants, petitioners. Every visitor passed them. A corpse inspires anger. A living warning inspires fear. In 67 BC, Ashurbanipal destroyed Susa, capital of Elam. Among the captives were royal women. Palace reliefs show long lines of deportees. Scholars debate details, but the message is clear: conquest extended beyond battlefield victory. It entered lineage. It entered memory. Months of controlled humiliation followed. Hair shaved again and again. Bodies kept clean and fed. Physicians monitored wounds, not mercy maintenance. An empire does not invest resources in what it plans to discard. There are records of systematic deportations. Tens of thousands relocated across regions to break resistance networks. Royal women were redistributed into palace complexes or administrative households. Their marriages annulled. Their titles stripped. Their children renamed. Everything that made them symbols of continuity was dismantled. In some cases, they were assigned degrading labor publicly. Tasks designed not to kill but to invert status. A former queen carrying waste through a market becomes a lesson more powerful than execution. This was psychological warfare refined to ritual. Assyria understood spectacle. Royal inscriptions were not confessions. They were advertisements. Reliefs were not art, they were instruction. Fear was infrastructure, yet there are fragments that suggest resistance survived in smaller forms. Archaeologists have uncovered minor inscriptions in secondary languages hidden within palace debris, briefsnal marks. Some scholars believe they may represent unauthorized voices. I was once someone. They erased my name. Short, uncertain but defiant. When Nineveh fell in 6012 BC, its palaces burned, statues shattered, archives collapsed into dust. The empire that engineered terror with bureaucratic precision disintegrated within a generation. Power believed itself permanent. It never is. The kings carved their victories into stone so they would never be forgotten. Today their names are studied in classrooms. Their reliefs stand in museums. But the women they sought to erase endure in a different way. Not through monuments, through questions. What does it mean to destroy a person without killing her? What does it mean to erase a name and expect silence to follow? What does it mean to build stability on fear? Empires calculate outcomes. They measure grain, soldiers, tribute. They believe suffering can be engineered like architecture. But even in the most controlled system, something slips through. A scratch in clay, a memory preserved, a story told centuries later. Power can chain a body. It can mark a forehead. It can distort a voice. It cannot guarantee oblivion. The Assyrians believed permanence belonged to them. Their walls fell. Their palaces burned. Their certainty turned to sand. What remains is the quiet refusal to disappear. The women displayed as warnings were meant to embody submission. Instead, across 26 centuries, they embody survival. Under Sennacherib, after the siege of Lachish, relief panels show Judean captives being marched away. Archaeological evidence confirms mass relocation. The objective was not mere punishment, it was transformation of the demographic landscape. The empire thrived on displacement. Psychologically, the effect was devastating. When word spread that Assyria had flayed rebels or carried entire populations into exile, neighboring rulers calculated risk differently. Resistance meant not only death for soldiers, but annihilation of family continuity. Fear became preventive. Assyria's kings cultivated this reputation deliberately. Royal annals describe campaigns with almost ritualistic repetition. I besieged, I captured, I destroyed, I burned. The rhythm itself reinforces inevitability. Rebellion always ends the same way. For captured women, unimaginable meant uncertainty. Would you be marched across deserts to till unfamiliar soil, placed inside palace walls among strangers, separated permanently from your children, forced into alliances that erased your past? Ancient sources rarely preserve their voices. We reconstruct their experiences from administrative tablets and triumphant carvings, documents written by victors. The silence is part of the tragedy. Empires speak loudly. History answers slowly. And the last word does not belong to the throne.